Hello, I am Anna Woods. I am a life and grief coach. I also coach from a business and leadership perspective. I am here at 407 Cafe in Oviedo with Leslie Gray. Welcome, Leslie.
Thank you, Anna. Well, I'm glad to be here.
Great, great. Yeah. So we're going to have a quick chat and talk about the impact of coaching from a business and leadership perspective. And Les is going to share some insight and tell a few stories on things that he's actually learned through business and leadership coaching. So Les, can you share with us some of the experience you've had?
Yes, I've been entrepreneur for about 10 years now. I actually celebrated 10 years under the Executive Thought Partners brand. And over the 10 years, I've provided business services, strategy planning, some leadership development, coaching, business coaching, and even some execution services. And a few years ago, we've added some creative things. And I've had probably, close to 100 clients over 10 years. And the clients that I've had have had very unique problems, even just from a business problem and a personality, drive, motive, all those different behavioral challenges, and then all of the drama and emotion wrapped around trying to uncover those things for your client and then translate that into some actionable solutions.
So 10 years in business as an entrepreneur, service 100 plus clients, experience their roller coaster of emotions, which since I am a grief coach and a life coach in business and leadership, I'm going to call that grief.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So when we have those roller coasters of emotions that we don't associate with grief, they're very much in that window of grieving experiences.
I agree.
So tell me, Les, how have other roller coaster of emotions impacted your emotional position as an entrepreneur?
Well, I mean, I'll tell you, so part of the roller coaster for me was helping other people. And I believe that I've helped them and they've gone on to be successful, and they've gone, I've had several successes, some mediocre ones. I don't think I've had too many failures, but I think that we tried to, but along the way, what I've gone through is like, man, I'm helping all these people and my business is suffering, I'm not growing, there's some volunteer stuff, there's people that want you to do things for either free or, at certain times, you're just not getting the value that you bring back.
Right.
So there were, go ahead.
Before you go on, you said something that I think is key. So you talked about you've had some successes and some what you would call failures, right? So as a coach, what do you think I'm going to call those?
Grief moments.
They're grief moments, but they're also challenges to refine ourselves, to become better at what we do. So I don't look at those challenges not necessarily as failures. I look at them as opportunities to take a glance at what could be different about that experience.
And you're right, because I can recall one incident early on. My wife Monet was in DC, and I was up there with her, and we were going to do, while we were there, we were going to do a pitch to a apartment complex, and the guy wanted some, training and development for his staff. So I'm putting together my little proposal to try to, deliver, what I'm going to do, scope of work. And all day I'm like typing, looking at TV. So Mo looks at it. She's like literally at the time like, what is this crap? And I'm like, I put my heart and soul. I don't know if I can say that on here, but we bleep that out. But anyway, I put my heart and soul into that. To have her tell me that was like really brutal, and it really made me check myself. And I went through a roller coaster of emotions. Like, how dare she say that to me? Is she right? Maybe I should just go back to work. Nah, we're here, we might as well. So all in the span of probably like 2 hours, I'm sitting there trying to figure out how to deal with this criticalness and doubt and all those different things in that moment. And so I've had a few of those along the way, but in terms of it refining me, in that situation, I went back and tried to refine exactly what I was doing. And I'm gonna be honest, I had recently had a client interaction. It was efficient. effective. We delivered results, and it was an hourly thing, so the cost for that person wasn't like astronomical. And hopefully, she'll be able to get I think it's probably a $400,000 proposal, and if it works, I feel like that's like the value that we can bring to the table.
Right.
And it was an easy client interaction. All those failures have kind of led to moments like that. But
So all those challenges have led to moments like that, right?
Yes.
Because you take those challenges, you refine the lessons that you learned, and you apply it to the next client,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And sometimes we have the unique opportunity of applying it even with the current climate,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So it depends on how you choose to proceed. And I think it's important also when you give the client the best of what you have, that we don't internalize it when a client don't accept the proposal.
Oh
right?
my God.
That's challenging,
Yeah.
right?
Oh.
But if you're sure that you've given 100%, 110, 120 sometimes of all that you have, then you move to the next opportunity that will come.
So you've been my unofficial official coach, right? As people who coach, and sometimes you don't get the feedback you want.
Right.
So the times that we've spent together over have helped me reinforce those things. Where I might have taken those challenges or what I would call failures and try to work through those things over maybe weeks or even months,
Right.
and sitting there looking at TV, sulking and stewing in my own juices. You've helped me kind of take those things and shorten that moment into a refined process
Yes.
through life coaching stuff, the things that you provided, the grief things that you provided. So now, while I can't get rid of the, immediate emotional impact of those things, but I think that you've helped me manage that process a lot more efficient over the years.
Yeah, and I don't really think that we ever get rid of, so to speak, the emotional impact.
Yeah.
I do believe we have to work through
Yeah.
those emotional impacts so that we become productive on the other side of that.
Yes.
I also firmly believe that when we sit in front of the TV or we procrastinate with time,
Yep.
we're actually giving away our power,
Yeah.
right? Because you have the power, you contain the power, and you choose to do what you do with whatever power that you've been given, right?
And the power over that TV is like, come on over here, Les. I know how you feel.
Let me pat you on
Let
your
me pat
back.
you on the back. Let me help you through
me
your
console
process.
you. Yeah,
Here's
yeah.
the remote. Man.
Spend 5 hours here with me,
Yeah.
or surf the internet, right? You're
Yeah.
going to find a solution there.
Yeah.
When the solution really is about facing the emotion itself, acknowledging the emotion you feel, deciding this is how I feel, but this is how I'm going to proceed
Yes.
from this place.
Yeah.
So,
And I got to tell you, I've been dealing with this process since high school, right?
Wow.
High school. I
Wow.
mean, I wanted to be a artist, draw comic. I wanted to work for Marvel Comics. But the thing that held me back was the criticism over my artwork. And it was a moment where I was like, you know what, I don't need to do this. I'll just draw for myself, and gave it up.
wow,
Yeah.
wow. So the external voices that you hear, you have internalized those voices. What I hear you say is since high school, you've carried these external voices that impacted a passion
Yeah.
of yours that have kept you from fulfilling that
Yep.
passion.
Yep.
And I believe that wherever our passion lies, our success lies,
Right,
right?
right.
Because then it's not a job, it's our passion, right? I enjoy this.
Yeah.
This has become my passion. I've had a long career as an executive in a couple different corporations. However, it's all come to this as a passion of mine to sit with others, to walk beside them as they move forward in life, figuring out what the next best step is. And sometimes those steps are very small. It's as simple as putting the remote down.
Yeah. Turn
Right?
the
Turn the TV off.
TV off
Yeah.
and really be effective and focus on the things that matter
Yeah.
in that moment. There's plenty of time for TV, you know.
So interesting enough, I've coached less, but He's not gone through the grief recovery program, and I highly recommend it for him because I think there's much that he would even gain through the grief recovery outreach program.
Yeah.
So I think the moment I discovered that Les was what I would term stuck. So that's what I'm going to call that moment for him when he allows the external voices to hinder him internally from his passion. We become stuck.
Yeah.
And really at what other people say,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so in grief recovery, we learn that for the most part, people don't know what to say. And so they say things often that are not helpful.
Right.
In fact, they're more harmful than helpful.
Mm-hmm.
And some of that's not intentional.
Right.
And so as Les talked about how far back this goes for him, internalizing this, I'm going to call it trauma,
Okay.
from an early age of rejection. I think our children experience a lot of that. And as an adult, if we don't address the unresolved grief in our own life, we know that trauma and grief is just passed on to the next generation.
Yeah.
Or is passed on to your husband, your wife, whomever that is close to you. You even see the impact of unresolved grief in the workplace,
Yeah.
right? You talk about lack of productivity as an entrepreneur. So let's say you're working for an organization,
Yeah.
you went to work, you're grieving, you have lack of productivity even in the workplace.
Yeah.
And so I think there's an opportunity for organizations to address grief in the workplace. I think grief recovery is a valuable tool personally, professionally, financially, emotionally.
Yeah.
So I think this whole topic of grief has been undiscovered
Yeah.
as a major hindrance in our culture as African Americans and in the culture at large.
Yeah.
So Les, I have thoroughly enjoyed this conversation this morning.
Me too.
Is there anything that you would like to add before we close out this chat?
I just want to add, everything you just said, I totally support and agree with. There's, my personal experience, has, it's helped me move past challenges with clients, coworkers or partners, and I just think it's an invaluable tool even for a coach or somebody who thinks that they're helping people like myself. I mean, we all need feedback and we all need assistance and criticism or constructive criticism, coaching, life, all those things. So I highly recommend it, and definitely people should look into it.
Great.
With
great.
you in particular.
Well, thank you for that shameless plug. So once again, I am Anna Woods. I am a retired executive. I am a mother of 4 children, 2 granddogs, and a wonderful husband who has supported me along this journey. And I specialize particularly in grief recovery, but I do coaching of all kinds. I am here at 407 Cafe in Oviedo. If you've not stopped by this cafe, you got to check it out. The tea is wonderful, the pastries are great, and the service is top-notch. So stop in at 407. So that's it for now, and thank you, Les, for joining us, and let's keep talking. We'll talk to you soon.